actually started college. I was 17 years old with 2 suitcases, moving to the University of Texas from California, living in a dorm, didn't know a soul at school or in Austin, and muddled through a couple of years of school. And my older brother, Rip, who pledged Zeta Psi at California Berkeley, the Iota chapter, called me up one day and said, "Hey, what do you think about starting a fraternity chapter at the University of Texas?" And I said, "Well, what fraternity?" He goes, "Zeta Psi." And I recall my response was, "What's a Zeta Psi?" Because it wasn't at University of Texas. But once he explained everything to me, I jumped into it with both feet, and that was when I was a sophomore, and was involved heavily ever since. One nice thing that the fraternity gave was a structure. There was set expectations of studying and of improving academics. And although I wasn't an academic star, I think that the consistency helped me improve just a bit. I was in ROTC and I joined the United States Air Force right after college. And it was kind of an interesting experience because a lot of military life is working with other people. And academics doesn't teach you to do that, but one thing that Zeta Psi was very helpful in was teaching me how to interact with different types of people in different lines of work or college and different career projections. And that was very helpful to me and actually helped me succeed. Although I only stayed for 4 years, moved on to another engineering job before my brothers and I started a company that was heavily involved in sales. And recruiting is sales, and I'd learned to recruit people in Zeta Psi. And so for my 19 years in that business, the skills I learned from Zeta Psi in recruiting helped me in my sales business. After that job, I took a job with Zeta Psi and am learning fraternity things every day. I think that you have to define it personally, and for me, brotherhood, I have both fraternity brothers and I have biological brothers, and I have biological brothers that are fraternity brothers. And there's different connections when you say brotherhood, but to me, what brotherhood means, it's a place and a word where men can actually use the word love together and not feel weird about it. That it's a closeness that's different than any other kind of closeness except for your actual siblings. And it spreads out again as across everyone in the organization. There's that instant desire to want to know somebody and to be close to them. I think that actives need to understand that we're all on the same team, that elders want to be associated with actives. It's part of our existence, and that we need to communicate with each other as brothers and as friends, and not as different organizations. I think this applies across my 35 years involved in the fraternity, but meeting people that you find are members of Zeta Psi, there's an instant connection, and this has been really accentuated with our chapters over in the United Kingdom, where we meet people from entirely different countries, different cultures really, and we have an instant connection with them and become instant friends, and you almost feel like you already know them, even though we're separated by generations and an ocean. One that just happened a couple of days ago, out of the blue, we found out one of our young men from Ireland was coming to visit, and he couldn't find a place to stay in New York City, so we invited him up to Pearl River where our headquarters is. And here's a 20-year-old guy, and I'm a 55-year-old guy and another one of our staffers. And just the fact that we were members of Zeta Psi made us instant friends. We had an instant connection. So my brother Rip, as I mentioned, was Berkeley Zate, and he called me up and talked about it, and that spring of my sophomore year. And I found some other guys, Keith Cassell and Hank Budrus. And then my brother Rip was able to work a deal with Zeta Psi to get a scholarship, and he actually transferred to Texas for the fall of '78, I think it was. And with the 4 of us, started recruiting people. And it was slow and steady. We started in September with 4 guys, and then by March when we were installed, we had 24 guys. And it was the primary focus the entire time, recruit guys and do things together. We played intramurals. We actually performed in a thing called Sing Song back in those days and did King Tut and came in first place and actually changed Sing Song where they had to ban instruments after that because we broke the rules and had a live band. And that was right when we were just 13 guys, and it was pretty exciting. After that, it had the momentum, and it kept going, and it's been a part of my life constantly ever since.